Yo, yo, Algebraics! Welcome to the Johnson-Kendall Video Hour.
But it's not an hour.
Yeah, sometimes you wish it were, but we'll just keep moving along here. All right, algebraic expressions.
What's an expression?
Expression is like a stitch in time saves 9. Any idea what that means?
I've never even heard that.
I must be really old then. That means do it slowly and you'll do it right. You won't have to go back and fix it.
I don't think that's what they mean by an algebraic expression.
Oh, algebraic. Okay, expression means it's just a bunch of terms put together.
Versus an equation would be...
It has to have an equal sign.
Okay.
Because the word equation sounds like equal a little bit.
So no equal sign today.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, which algebraic expression models the word phrase 2 times the sum of A and B?
Well, 2 times. Times makes me think of multiplication.
Right. And
What?
sum, I learned a long time ago that means to add.
Okay, so could... I'm thinking 2 different things. Or... Are they different?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Way different. So you have to look at the word sum and see what comes right after it, because whatever's right after it is what you have to add together.
So sum of A and B.
Right, so you do those two
And
then
then
2
times that. So this is not correct.
Right.
Okay.
So look for the words right after the word sum or difference. Yep. Okay, what are some other words we gotta watch for?
So what if we said per? Something per hour.
So that probably means to multiply.
Okay?
Okay.
So maybe write some little hints here. That's multiplication. Other things you're going to see. Difference means,
Subtract.
okay?
Less or fewer also means subtract. More means add. Product multiply. Quotient is divide.
All right. Let's do a couple more.
Cool. Difference of 7 and 4.
Difference is subtract. Is it 4 minus 7?
No. 7 minus 4, because that's...
So the order matters.
The order does matter, yep. That's the way they're saying it. The product of 3 and 6.
3
Or X. 6 has an X in it.
She added an SI.
Right.
C.
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 Okay. C6. Oh, we're seasick. 3 and 6, but we're producting or
So
multiplying.
multiplication.
Right.
So 3 times X.
We don't have to put the dot in there or anything?
No, not when it's multiplied by a variable.
Okay.
You could though.
Cool. Number increased, the number y increased by 2. So y plus 2, that's pretty easy. Then the quotient, 48 and 3, so 48 divided by 3.
Couple different ways you could write that. I probably would never say that. I would do this.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Fractions are our friends.
Number
T is doubled, then decreased by 1. So double it, just 2 times t, and decrease is minus 1.
And not with the parentheses?
Nope, because 1 is the only thing after the decrease.
Okay.
5 taken away from Q.
Take away means subtract, but because 5 is taken away, that should go to the last.
Yeah, and if you're not sure if it goes first or last, put a real number in for Q. So if I say 5 taken away from 7, you would say, well, that's 2, so don't you have to do 7 minus 5?
Yeah.
So put a real number in there, then it'll tell you the correct order.
That's a good trick.
Just because your brain knows what it's doing. Okay, you had 150 bucks. Woohoo!
Yeah.
$2 a day. What would I be spending that on? Coffee? No, I don't drink coffee.
You drink tea. Maybe tea costs
Tea
$2.
costs, yeah, coffee's more than that. Get your grande latte.
No, brewed coffee at Starbucks, the grande is $2.23.
Oh, well,
Not like I've ever done that or anything.
no,
Okay.
never.
All right.
Okay, here's some hints. First of all, figure out what you're going to use for a variable.
Well,
So,
variables are things we don't know.
uh-huh.
So we don't know how many.
How many days we're spending.
Okay, let's use D.
D for days, okay. And what's next?
What is happening to the variables? Relate the situation.
So I start with 150, but I spend. Spend means it's going away. Away means subtract.
And it says $2 each day. Isn't that the same as $2
Per day, we
which
said
means,
multiply.
okay, so that's 2 times the number of days.
Right?
And I don't remember what my last hint was. Right now it's algebraic expression. Okay, so we got the 2D part, but what about the 150?
Well, that's what you start with. So I'm taking 150 and I'm taking away $2 every day. Cool.
So wait a minute. The final answer here isn't like a number?
Nope, because we're
'Cause it
just
says-
modeling.
Yes, right, an expression. All
We're
right,
not finding the answer yet.
cool.
Okay, evaluate. Evaluate. What's the root word in there?
Value!
English people? Value,
I'm not
yes.
an English person.
Well, maybe some of our students know their English.
I don't-
Hopefully,
I
they
don't
know their
know
math
English.
too. Well, that ain't no problem. Okay, substitute known values. Make sure you're putting parentheses with that so the negatives get distributed correctly. And then follow order of operations.
What are the order of operations?
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Okay, I used, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but I think that sometimes in the middle school the kids just learn PEMDAS.
PEMDAS.
Same thing.
Yep.
So what do these things stand for?
E is parentheses.
Okay,
E is exponents.
I'm just gonna,
Okay. M and D go together, multiply and divide. They're the same importance, so whichever one comes first is the one you do first. Left to right. Yep.
it's like reading.
Yep. And then add and subtract for the bottom ones.
Oh yeah, these two go together. And then add or subtract, and this is also.
Left to right.
Yep, and you might want to write those out in words, but I'm hoping you know what PEMDAS is by now.
I hope so too. Okay, here's an example. So x is 4 and y is -2. Let's plug those in. So put a 4 in for x and a -2. Be careful with parentheses, yep, and then another 4. Okay, if it's not negative, the parentheses aren't as crucial, but just be careful. Okay, what comes first in our PEMDAS?
Please, parentheses, and I see parentheses, but does that mean I do -2 first?
Well, there's nothing to do to it.
Yeah,
There's nothing to add or subtract inside there.
that's
so-
referring to like multiple things inside of parentheses, grouping parentheses,
Right.
not, these are just, I'm being extra careful in separating negatives parentheses. Okay, so then please excuse, there are no exponents. So then we're on to the my dear. So multiplication
Multiply or
or
divide.
division, which we have. So we're going to do -2 divided by 4, which is,
-1/2,
okay, and you could just change this to 4 minus 1/2 at this point.
right? So 3 1/2.
Yep, 3.5, or you could do like denominators and do improper fraction, and I think probably we would even accept a decimal.
Yeah.
I think we didn't
As long as
specify.
it's
Terminating.
Terminating, yep. Okay, so this one, you can plug them in. Could I add the x's together first if I really wanted to?
Yeah, I
and
think so.
then plug 'em in?
Those are like terms. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. You could definitely, she's saying simplify this expression first by combining
Make
like
it
terms.
4x and -5y.
Yeah.
And then plug in your
Oops,
x.
I skipped my x. Good thing you said that.
What's you?
I skipped my 4. Okay, now let's do order of operations. So there are parentheses again, but those are just kind of enclosing the
Separating,
negatives.
yeah.
Yep. So no exponents. So then we are doing,
I see multiplies.
so 3 times 4 is?
12.
Okay, next. Now how do you think about this? Do you leave this as subtraction, or do you think of this as -4?
I think of it as -4
That's
times
how I do it
-2.
too, which turns to,
+8.
okay, that's good. I'm not going to do anything with that 4 because there's no multiplication. What about this?
2 negatives.
Or you could treat
Multiply.
that like negative.
1, yeah.
Okay, so -1 times -2 is.
+2.
All right, now what?
Just add them up because they're all addition. Left
Yep.
to right.
So 20 plus.
8, 28, or 26. I multiplied stuff. 26. Good.
All right,
More.
let's give us some more room here.
Ooh, kind of
Ooh,
scary.
I don't remember what the numbers are. Is it 4 and 2?
-2.
Oh yeah,
4 and
4 and
-2.
-2. So 4 times 3 minus -2. Another thing you could do is use brackets here instead.
Double parentheses.
Right.
Make sure you have 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yep.
When you're looking at your parentheses. All right, so we do have parentheses now that we can do something in.
Yeah, so here our parentheses or brackets, which is the same thing. It's
Yeah.
grouping stuff together. So that means we want to work in here first. So 3 minus a minus 2 is the same as?
Plus.
Okay, so this becomes 4 times parentheses 5 minus.
Ooh, I see an exponent.
Wait a minute, isn't that like parentheses here?
Yeah, but it's multiplication.
Oh yeah, that's like
which
negative
comes
1 times.
after exponent. So we gotta do the -2 squared first.
Okay, -2, if you type this in the calculator,
Uh-oh.
it's going to say this. But
Right.
you have to know better. What is -2 times -2?
+4.
So how can I fix that on the calculator?
Parentheses.
Yes, your calculator thinks you mean -1 times 2 squared, and that's not what we mean.
Right.
Okay, so that becomes +4, but remember there was this minus out in front, so I'm still writing it like that.
Gotcha.
That's a real problem. We do a lot of things like this, and we plug in, even for instance, a negative. Kids want to cancel out the negatives right away. You got to square first and get +9, but then it is a negative.
Right.
It's like -1 times that.
Yep. This order of operations is very important. Okay, so what's left is 20 minus 4, so 16.
Cool.
All right. Oh, okay.
So 2 times
4 squared
minus.
-2 squared. There we go. All right, lots of parentheses going on. I have exponents inside parentheses, so that takes precedence. We gotta do 4 squared and -2 squared.
So 2 times 4 squared is 16. And then -2 squared is +4, but this minus is staying because of that.
Right.
Okay? That's what I have for now.
Now do inside parentheses. 16 minus 4 is 12. And then 24 over 3 is really 8.
If it didn't come out to be a whole number, what do you want them to do with this?
Leave it.
Reduce it.
Well, reduce it, yes.
Yep, or you could do a mixed number, but really the book is going to tell you improper fractions. And
Yeah.
might as well get in the habit of
So
that.
if it was 25 over 3, just leave it.
Right.
All
I
right,
think
here we
this
go.
is our last problem.
Writing and evaluating. So we gotta set it up and find the value. Value means find an actual answer. All right.
It says in basketball, teams can score by making 2-point shots, 3-point shots, and 1-point free throws. What algebraic expression models the total number of points that a basketball team scores at a game? Let's stop there. Okay, we are supposed to write an expression that models the total number of points. So remember, we're going to choose variables. So what don't we know?
We don't know how many 2 points,
2-point shots, what else?
number of 3-point shots, and number of free throws.
And you could pick whatever variables you want. I just used X, Y, Z.
Sure.
Okay, so what expression represents this situation? The number of 2-point shots, if I wanted to know how many points that got me, I get 2 points per shot.
Per shot. So per means multiply.
So 2x, 2 times x.
Right, and you can check that in your head. If I shot 3 baskets and made them, that'd be 6 points. So 2 times 3 is 6.
Right,
You
that's
can
a good
double
way.
check it with
By plugging stuff
real
in.
numbers.
That's a good idea. Okay, 3 points then, it's going to be the same sort of thing. 3y, and then we only get 1 point, so that's 1z or just z.
Cool.
How come I put the plus signs in? It doesn't say to add them together, but if you think about score,
Well, you add them up.
right, you
There
add
you
up.
go.
Yeah.
So, common sense in that regard.
All right, so we did what they asked us here. That's the expression that represents the total number of points in a game. If a team makes 10 2-point shots, I think that's telling us that x is 10.
Yep.
And then,
Because I know that'll end up being 20, and that's what I get by plugging those in.
so they're telling us x is 10, y is 5, and z is 3. So let's evaluate our expression that we just wrote. So that's 2 times 10 plus 3 times 5 plus just 7. So what's 2 times 10?
20,
Plus,
15,
plus,
7.
what is that?
42.
So 42 points total if you made those many shots.
Did you ever make that many points in a game?
I did not make 42 points, no.
Huh.
In
Wow.
my career, I definitely made 42 points total.
In your 7-year career?
Yeah.
In high school?
Okay. I wasn't in high school for 7 years.
Oh, I was counting middle school.
All right. They want to get out of here.
All right.
Make sure you hit submit.
Submit.
See ya.
Bye.